Welcome to this next episode of the Beloved Miracles Couples Project. Hello, Liz and JP in Switzerland.
Hi, Tim. Thank you very much for inviting us on. It's great to be with you.
Likewise, it's a real honor, you guys. So Liz and JP are evolving from bridging long-distance love to career changes to now building together online, implementing a system. Guys, where does your story begin?
Wow, that's a big question. Tu m'as juste me demandé, c'est où que notre histoire commence?
By jet aviation in Breton.
Yes.
Is our story beginning.
Yeah, that's where we met. We met at work.
Yeah.
And Jean-Philippe was a woodworker at the time. And I was working as an assistant there, and we were both working in Switzerland. And basically, to cut a long story short, we got on very well, started a relationship, and JP had his home in Alsace, just across the border, and I had my home in Basel, and we saw each other every weekend, and sometimes overnight in between. And everything was fab. It's really great. Yeah.
And
wonderful.
I can say that my destiny was never to go in the Switzerland.
No.
I was just in jet aviation for working for that I can have enough ride for my training in French country.
Yeah, because what JP wanted to do, he planned. There's a system in France where you work for 5 years solid, and then you earn the right to take a training. And you can take the training, then there's nothing to pay. The state will provide it for you, but you have to work solidly for 5 years in order to gain that right. And then you can take a training, and then afterwards, if you want, you can work another 5 years and take another training. It's a fabulous system. And so JP, he was just working at Jet Aviation to just add the final months onto his 5 years to give him the right so that he could take a teacher training course.
Yes. Yeah. For 1 year.
Yeah. So you took a training course, didn't you? 1 year in Mulhouse, which is just over the border again in Alsace, the town there, to become what?
To become?
Devenir quoi?
Oh yeah, for being teacher for adults in reconversions of not of working.
Yeah, so reconversion. So basically, he was teaching. The plan was that he would teach adults to change their job.
Yeah.
So they might switch from either they were experiencing long unemployment and needed to learn a new trade, or they wanted to switch trades, and so that his plan was that he would teach them. And
yeah, just the idea.
yeah, it was a great idea.
I think I have j'ai employé la formation sur moi-même.
Yeah, but he thinks he used the training on himself in the end. Because I mean, I can say that before the training, this was just 1 year, he had to learn to not just be a menuisier, which is a woodworker. He had to learn how to become a teacher. And the transformation in 1 year was enormous, absolutely huge. Mm-hmm.
I had manual working, and then I
developed.
Then I developed my working in abstract concept, with training. Is a better system, as when a person comes from abstract system and will say, comme cela,
Okay, here's how to do woodworking. So what he was saying is that, you know, somebody who'd learned to be a teacher, who then was suddenly would have to be plunged into a woodworking environment, would have a lot more difficulty to teach woodworking than somebody who was already a woodworker, but suddenly had to change their mindset to be able to introduce abstract concepts into the mix in order to be able to teach it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And this is the basis of my my woodworker career. Is the basis of my transmission.
Yeah.
Is my rules for developing.
His growth. So basically, his growth. But his personal
Sorry
growth.
for my English.
His personal development and growth, his evolution, if you like.
Yeah.
The basis was the fact that he's grown from just being because I mean, to be able to work with wood and produce something amazing is just magical for me. But to transform that and to transform into a teacher who can then teach somebody else how to do that. And then now, because now what JP's doing is he's studying to become a yoga teacher. And so there is a connection between wood and yoga that he will also transmit.
And I was not predestined for
he wasn't predestined
for being a yoga teacher. I had never. Je ne savais pas ce que c'était le yoga.
No, he didn't know what yoga was.
Yeah.
For even 5 years ago, he didn't know what yoga was.
Yeah.
So to cut it, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
I think you're right on. I think you're spot on where this story leads, right? Because this is life, right? What you guys are describing is not this logical, rational way it works, right? I mean, our lives have not rolled along so straight, right? They go more circular. Exactly.
So after JP qualified to become a teacher trainer, he couldn't find work in Alsace. Tu as essayé de trouver un job en Alsace.
In the French country.
Yeah, in France.
Yeah.
And in the end, he had to look further afield. So he started covering the whole of France. And we were thinking, South of France, please. South of France, sun, beach,
yes.
You know. But
not working.
Yeah, maybe a bit of work somewhere, but, you know, beach, sun. And the universe brought...
Liz.
Non, j'étais déjà là.
We was not in the same flat.
Oh yeah, in the same apartment, yeah.
The universe favorise the meeting, but I was personally not ready to move to Basel for a life what we live in the very premier temps.
Yes.
The first times.
Yeah, he didn't want to do that immediately after qualifying. Yeah. He wasn't ready to do that.
And yeah, I was really happy in Paris while my working, but the important point was that this gave me all time to decide what I will take or make or to do, or she was never behind me and say, "Oh, jetzt muss no, you must no." And this
basically he was saying, I never insisted that he come to Basel. I never insisted that he find a job closer to Basel, you know, so that we could stay together.
This liberty, this liberty that I had work in me, and the result was that I coming after 4 years to Basel.
Yeah.
Right. But love,
Really interesting. It's really
love was part of the decision. I hear clearly that the love between the two of you had been bridged through all this career transition. And I'm assuming that the decision to go to Basel had a decision for you, right, JP, of whether or not to deepen the roots of the love between the two of you.
Well, we'd spent, although we'd lived apart because first of all, we weren't too far away. And then suddenly JP got this job in Paris, not in the south of France, but he got this job in Paris. And so we traveled, and the traveling, because we could do that only, maybe at first it was every 3 to 4 weeks, but gradually as time went on, sometimes the breaks were once every 2 months, and it got really tough.
Yeah.
But we had long telephone conversations.
The decision to coming to Basel was really coming from me. And you can understand when you make yoga, what is a decision coming from me, or not impulse from another person. And this decision is really powerful. Actually, today, pour pour avancer aujourd'hui.
To advance.
To advance day after day, actually.
Yeah.
This decision is powerful energy for realize my.
Yeah. So he's a decision from the heart is what's driving, you could say, his advancement.
Yes.
And it's really different when my head say, okay, in the Swiss it's more money.
In Switzerland, yeah.
Yeah, in Switzerland it's more money or better or moins de chômage.
There's less unemployment.
Yes, and so things.
Yeah.
Can you understand my?
I do. Yeah. I mean, this is the language of the heart. I've heard it said, the heart speaks with words, the mind knows nothing of, and it's that's what you guys are clearly getting across here, right? And it's not logical necessarily. Sometimes it is, but not always. And so, no, I hear very clearly your heart, JP, that it really was your love of yourself. So while the relationship was also part of these decisions, I hear clearly a man finding how and where and when he can give his heart to the world. And clearly, it sounds like you're in the right place to do that today.
Tu me dis que le cœur pour les mots, c'est bon que le cœur pour les mots de moteur, rien.
Yeah, exactly.
Et que tu as utilisé parler avec ton cœur.
Yeah.
Et tu dis tout ça.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so
good words. Yes.
What you're saying is making perfect sense. So rest assured, the message is coming across, and it's more so understood by the heart. As today you do a lot of yoga, right? And it's felt more so than understood. It's felt. So guys, bring in a system. Now you're together, married. Congratulations. I understand back in 2015. So that commitment is there. And a system. Where does a system begin to show up in your story? And what did it change for you when it did show up?
Okay, so the system for us was the fact that we both want to work from home. We want to work from home together because we inspire each other all the time. We're constantly bouncing ideas off each other and concepts, and everything we share about our past, for example, it just inspires us to share what's going on with others. And so the system is about sharing, basically. We just want to share our experiences. JP wants to share his experiences with yoga. For me, I want to share how it's taken me 55 years to discover that actually happiness is possible all the time, not just in tiny little moments. And we want to share that. So the system that we're creating is basically to help others really, hopefully understand and know eventually that anything is possible. And that the heart is, as you've mentioned before, what the heart speaks is where truth is, each of us. And if we can find truth, then we can share that with others and we'll give you no space.
She has a place in the camera.
Good for you, man. You make sure you have a space there.
Yeah, so the system for us is that, basically. It's about sharing. And yeah, and within the basis of sharing, we're discovering that we love making videos. We really love it. We haven't done some for a while because I've been sick just recently, but we love making videos, don't we? Yeah.
I think the system is of my meaning, as a big tool for give my yoga and my spirituality, my practice from yoga and other people.
Yeah.
It's a very good tool, and it's fantastic the opening that this tool can give, not give, c'est incroyable l'ouverture que le système peut donner par rapport aux gens que je peux rencontrer. Parce qu'il permet d'approcher les gens par n'importe quel moyen, à travers le yoga, qui est universel.
Okay, attends.
Okay.
So basically, the system that we're using now through videos, and also we're starting to write.
She has a lot of plays in the camera.
It gives an opening for Jean-Philippe to share everything he's learned through yoga and spirituality with others, but also to share his message in a way that connects. It provides a connection with the person who's viewing him, who's reading him, and that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. To feel like we're getting our message out. This implementation for me has woken me up to realize I'm actually a media company. Yeah, I actually have this signal or this message to broadcast out, and then to get the feedback as you're sharing now, that someone can tune in and can listen and can be inspired and helped to further express themselves.
Yeah. It's fantastic. Les médias de vidéo, par exemple, vraiment inspiré une autre personne qui regarde, de croire qu'ils peuvent s'exprimer lui-même.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not difficult. It's just simply.
Yeah, and that's something that it took me a long while to understand, is that we can just film ourselves, talk about what's occurring in our lives in any given moment, put our own personal spin on it, and that somewhere someone might actually benefit from that. And for me, that was a huge eye-opener. huge, massive eye-opener, actually, that somebody might even be interested in something that I had to say at the start. But also then to receive feedback from somebody saying, thank you, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. It's like, oh, wow, that's really touching. That's really touching, and also hugely inspiring to know that we're touching others with what we say, and that it might be helpful to them. Yeah, it's really great.
Absolutely. And that's happening like right here, right now. So it'll be fascinating to hear the feedback from what we're doing right now and the sharing of our stories to inspire people toward their own sharing of their own story. So as a couple, because this is a challenging and unique and rewarding dance, when we do the implementing of a system together as two coming together and finding that balance, that harmony, what advice would you have to give to other couples building together using a system?
Quel conseil est-ce que vous donnez aux autres couples qui veulent construire leur boîte en utilisant un système aussi?
I mean, that's.
I think.
That's the people coming to
well, just a mastermind.
Yeah, that's the people coming to a mastermind. It's a first thing. D'après mon expérience.
Yeah, after according to Jean-Philippe's experience, for a couple to be able to attend a mastermind,
then needs say or recount me over the system, but I'm in the flat. Okay, yeah, right. But when I travel to Bucharest, I see the mastermind. Wow, it was great. And just one mastermind is thinking enough for the people. It's my first recommendation. And then that's the person feel with me really natural, simply, and to do what to do for myself. And that's then the people can see que les gens peuvent voir que je progresse, que je continue avec mes propres outils, juste parce que c'est comme ça, chaque jour, naturellement, sans me prendre le chou avec quoi que ce soit. The little French parabinage.
So basically, Jean-Philippe was hugely inspired by BeLoved, and his advice to couples is that they can just relax and be themselves, because whoever is watching them develop is going to see that they can just be themselves. They can just be themselves. And my advice would be that to any couple, just talk with each other a lot. Understand what you want to do together. Understand what it is that you want to try and create together, and go for it. So communication is the first thing. Secondly, it's all very well doing all the planning and discussing and being inspired and everything. But there comes a point where you're both going to want to knuckle down and do some work. And that can be easier said than done from our experience. Because to give an example, I work full time and I'm out of the apartment for about approximately 55 hours each week. So when I come home in the evenings, I'm out from about 10 to 7, no, it's about 6:45 that I leave the apartment every morning. And I get back at the moment it's 6:30. And I've had a full day of having to use this in order to and also giving my best energy to my employers and my colleagues, because I love my colleagues, and you know, it's great to serve them and be there for them. So I come home in the evenings, and the last thing I want to do is sit down in front of a computer straight off. I can't do it. It's just too much. So find your rhythm. My advice to a couple is find the rhythm that works for you in terms of getting the work done. I would come home, and JP, of course, he'd be at home all day. Sometimes he'd seen somebody else, he'd gone out and he might have met someone, or somebody came to the apartment. But quite a lot of the time, he was alone all day, so that as soon as I walked through the door, it was like, oh, you're back! Okay, let's talk about this. This is what happened today, and how was it for you? And there's all of that that goes on. We'd eat together, and then it would be like 8 o'clock, and I'd be then at that point thinking, oh, I'm not sure I feel like I want to do anything now, you know, because I was tired. And so what we're learning, and it's taken us quite a few months to even get to this point, is that we both need a certain point in the evening where we can do our own thing uninterrupted for at least 1 hour, 2 if we're organized enough, but at least 1 hour. We need to be able to know that I need to know that I can sit down in front of my computer without an interruption and do something. And we've now got to that point where, you know, we can come in and I could announce to JP, okay, I'm going to do this evening, and I'll start at such and such a time, and I'll be with you at such and such a time after. So I would definitely, you know, if you're a couple, and especially if you're working, even if it's just one of you is going out to work, maybe you're both going out to work, maybe you're at home, the pair of you, the whole day. But even if you're at home the whole day, it's like, right, we've got the whole day ahead of us. Okay, what are we going to do first? Shall we go for a walk first? Yeah. And then, you know, oh, fancy a cup of coffee. Okay, let's just stop at the cafe and, you know. And then, I'm talking from experience here. We've done all this, you know, and then after the afternoon comes, it's like, oh, just, yeah, you know, and then 3 o'clock comes and it's like, well, actually, I'd planned to do something today. Now, what was it? You know? So, no matter where you are, what your life situation is as a couple, talk with each other, know where you want to go together, and then afterwards, plan how you're actually going to get the work done. And finally, assert yourselves as much as you need to in order to get it done. Because it's so tempting to say, honey, yeah, I understand. It's so great to be with you. Yeah, you want to do that this evening? Yeah, no problem. But then, of course, the next day comes and what we planned to do the day before and get done. So, yeah, it's about communication, planning, and also asserting yourself.
Well said. Thank you so much. I mean, just listening to you instills the word patience. It's the best word I think I can use right now, but it's deeper than patience. I hear that you're being patient with yourself individually. I hear you're being patient with each other, and you're being patient with whatever, you know, whether it's transitioning to a new career, dealing with the challenge of when you can come together as a couple. And now that you guys are together, living together, married, there's still a dance of patience needed to listen to the music, to individually and collectively dance to it with harmony and dignity and grace.
Yes, yeah, that's very well said, Tim. Very well extrapolated, yeah. Because we have very different natures, JP and I.
Yeah.
He has a lot of fire in his nature. A lot of let's go, let's do it now, let's get it done. And in the evenings, of course, he still wants to be doing stuff, and not necessarily just wants to be hanging out, you know, in front of the TV. you know, we like to go out and move a bit, because I've been sitting all day. He's quite often been sitting all day, except of course when he's been doing his yoga. So we go out and we get a walk at least in the evening. But my nature is softer. It's much softer. Not softer in the sense that there's nothing of substance in there, but it's a gentler kind of rhythm that I have, a gentler vibration that I have. And JP's is much more dynamic and energetic. And so there's also that to take into account between any couple, the dynamics of each person and how that manifests as a couple as well. And I actually think that for us, the gentleness and the dynamic, more swifter movement produces something really magical together. You know, we have a real compassion for each other, a real I want to use the word écoute in French, which means we are there to hear each other. And there's a sensitivity that Jean-Philippe has that I have, that we can really tune into each other and know what's going on and work with that in any given moment. And that's taken a lot of time to get to this point. But wow, magic.
Beautiful, beautiful, guys. We could go on, and I look forward to doing that in the future when we can circle back around and find out how things continue to develop. Thank you for this patience. It's something I still am learning after 51 turns around the sun, to allow things their time, to listen more than talk. And you've given us a beautiful example of that today. I'm sure there will be those who are inspired by your example, and the dignity, the grace. These are the words that are popping up now just in the experience we've shared. Thank you so much. And with a renewed sense of patience myself, I usually close, and you guys so beautifully exemplified the meaning of these words to me, that together we overcome. So for now, from Norway to Switzerland, I'll say goodbye.
Bye, and thank you very much, Tim.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Bye. Have a great day.